All right, here we are. We got brand new Hero Talent Trees coming through. Get an early look at eight new Hero Talent Trees. I'm excited to look at this. I haven't even looked at what Hero Talent Trees they are. So I'm hoping it's something that I know something about. I know a few specs, or I know a few classes, so I am excited. Oh, yeah, we have this. I think we all kind of understood this. I'm gonna move down. See what we got. Druid Windstalker, Colossus Warrior, Diabolist Warlock. All right, I'm between these two. So I'm curious. We have Colossus. So that's protection and arms. Templar Paladin as well. Oh, so it does say Templar would be red and protection, which are the two specs that I play. What about Diabolist? I assume Destro and Demo. Yep. Cool. All right. Let's take a look. I've played Warlock most recently. Oh, does it not? Okay. I thought it would have a nicer looking tree, but okay. So what do we have here? Diabolic Ritual. Let's see if I can make this a little bit bigger. Diabolic Ritual. Spending a soul shard grants Diabolic Ritual for 20 seconds. While it's active, each soul shard spent reduces its duration by 1 second. Given that you are basically always spending soul shards, that will last 8 seconds. Spending a soul shard grants Diabolic Ritual. What does it do? When it expires, you gain Demonic Art, causing your next ability that costs soul shards to summon an Overlord, Mother of Chaos, or Pit Lord. Oh. So basically, the only thing this does is calls on a big demon when it goes away. So you're incentivized even more to spend soul shards, which you're going to be doing anyway. So that doesn't really change anything. That sounds like it's just adding to your rotation, which is kind of nice. I think I kind of like that. It doesn't really change anything. Cool. And I'm sure some people will min max that by tracking how many soul shards they've used and how many seconds are left. Okay, let's start on the left here. Cloven Souls. Enemies damaged by your Overlord have their souls cloven, increasing damage taken by you. Increasing damage taken, I think that should say from you and your pets, by 10% for 20 seconds. So, I mean, that's... Oh, but it's not every time. It's gonna probably be about a third of the time that you get an Overlord. Okay. But I mean, still, you're gonna be spending a soul shard. I mean, this is basically every time so you spend a soul shard. It'll be 20 seconds, but you generally spend 3 or so at a time. You either spend 2 or 3 every, I don't know, 2 to 3 seconds. So it's only going to stay up for half that time. So let's call it 10 seconds. There's got to be a internal cooldown on this, I would imagine, unless otherwise you're getting this buff every 10 to 15 seconds. So that means every, 30 to 45 seconds you're getting an Overlord? And it's staying up for 20 seconds? That's almost that could in theory be a 50% uptime on Cloven Souls. Whew. I mean, that's gonna make your cooldown windows even more wild. Because you're already getting percentages on top of percentages. You always gain the benefit of Soul Burn when casting Demonic Circle Teleport, increasing your movement speed. Okay, that's fine. Howl of Terror cooldown is reduced by 15 seconds and range is increased by 5 yards. That's a lot. That's a lot of ho-hum boring. Fire damage increased 2%. Damage dealt by your demons is increased 2%. Straight damage buff. I don't hate it. Back up to the top of the middle now. Touch of Arancora. The Diabolic Ritual increases damage of your next ability that costs soul shards by 30% and reduces its cast time by 50. So, okay, so you get Diabolic Ritual. So you get Diabolic Ritual after spending something that costs a soul shard. And then the next one that costs a soul shard is increased by 30% and cast time reduced by 50%. Wow. I mean, that's so nice. You could probably cheese the heck out of that. Like, because of Touch of Rancora, people are going to be tracking when they don't have Diabolic Ritual. Because then they know to do something that, they'll probably call Dreadstalkers. Or, ooh, that's interesting. If your next ability that costs soul shards, if that's cast Dreadstalkers, and does the entire duration of the Dreadstalkers get that 30% buff? That's so much. Considering you have an ability or a talent where you can make it so that your Dreadstalkers just damage everything around it. Whoo. Yeah, there's a Mythic Plus build. Okay, Nether Portal, Summon Demonic Tyrant, and Summon Infernal grant Diabolic Ritual and reduce its duration by 3. This one confuses me. Don't they already... Well, Summon Infernal might not cost soul shards. So is this every single... I'm just thinking how wild this would be. I'm waiting for one of these talents to say it just gives you free soul shards that you will then spend to do Diabolic Ritual and Demonic Art. Okay. Abyssal Dominion. Grimoire Felguard and Cataclysm gain additional effects. Grimoire Felguard, 3 seconds longer. Cooldown reduced by 30 seconds. Fine. Cool. It's good. It's a good cooldown, and cooldown reduced by 30 seconds. Love it. Casting Cataclysm summons an Overfiend. Not the same as an Overlord, an Overfiend that casts 2 Chaos Bolts 2 times 80% effectiveness, and then fucks off. Okay. I don't think I love that. I love this because this is wild. I think this is pretty good. Honestly, did I? Your soul shard spending abilities decrease the duration of Diabolist Ritual by 1 additional second while you're. Oh my! I mean that is the cooldown window in which demonology does all of its damage. Not all of its damage, but that's definitely its damage profile is very spiky based on this 3-minute demonic tyrant or another portal build. And this is just making that window even more important. Because in theory, because what happens is when you cast Demonic Tyrant, there's a talent that gives you 5 soul shards, right? So just like that, you get 5 soul shards, you cast your dogs because your dogs are buffed by one of these. Nether portal is buffed by what you summon when it's open, and demonic tyrant. No, demonic tyrant is buffed by what's already out. So maybe you would hold them. You probably wouldn't hold them, honestly. You would just hit them with the bolts. You would just hit them with the bolts and spend all 5 of your soul shards basically right away. But still, it increases it by 1 second, or it decreases the duration by 1 second. And then here's another additional seconds, and it's giving you 5. So that's 10 seconds off the bat, plus the 2 or 3 it will take to cast it. So in 3 seconds, the duration goes from 20 down to, well, actually, 20. It'll be 20 seconds, and it'll already, after 3 seconds, be down to 7. And I'm sure you bolt. Maybe bolt one more time, and then demon bolt. And that's essentially 6-7 seconds. And you have one of your big Overlord, Mother of Chaos, or Pit Lord. That's crazy. All right, let's go to Mother of Chaos. Let's see what the Mother of Chaos here. Empowers your next Shadow Bolt or Incinerate to become Demon Fire Barrage. Channel a barrage of 4 Shadow... Hold on. 4 Shadow Bolts at 150% effectiveness toward the enemy over a second and a half. Every Shadow Bolt gives you a Soul Shard. So you get a Mother of Chaos, and Shadow Bolt turns into a 1.5 second 4 Shadow Bolts. So you get 4, then you'll do something that spends the Soul Shard, and you'll be right back into Diabolic Ritual. I think that's pretty good. I still think what I'm seeing over here on the left is probably going to be what we go until we see this. So, Infernal Vitality. Unending Resolve heals you for 30% of your maximum health over 10 seconds. Cool, defensive. Unending Resolve grants Soul Leech equal to 10% of your maximum health. Okay. Fine. Defensive. It's defensive. That's fine. It's a movement, it's a defensive, and it's whoa. Really? And it's just making things better. Hand of Gul'dan deals 15% increased damage for each soul shard spent. I mean, you're always casting that with 3, generally. So buffing one of your bigger damage dealers by 45%, yeah, I'll take it. Enemies marked with habit take 5% increased damage from your single target spells. That's an interesting one, because normally you want havoc on the one that's not very important. This one is weird because if this target over here that needs to die, and you have this target over here that you don't care about, generally you mark havoc on the one you don't care about, and then you focus this one over here, and this one gets like 75% of the damage. But now, if you want to kill something, you have to mark this one with havoc and then attack this one. So that'll be weird, because I'm sure a lot of people won't know that. A lot of non-warlocks will know that and be like, why are you attacking this guy? We need to attack the healer, kind of thing. So that's just kind of funny. And then it culminates in Ruination. Summoning a Pit Lord, which is here, also comes from Nether Portal. So Nether Portal might be a big one. Causes your next Hand of Gul'dan or Chaos Bolt to become Ruination. Ruination. Call down a demon-infested meteor from the depths of the twisting nether. So we've seen that animation before. Dealing chaos damage on impact to all enemies within 8 yards of the target and summoning 3 wild imps. So that makes sense. Kind of. Yeah, that makes sense, because Chaos Bolt and Hand of Gul'dan are your spenders, essentially. So it just makes it bigger. It makes sense that it spawns 3 wild imps, because that's what they do. And it's just an AoE spell now. It makes these AoE when they're not typically AoE. I think that's a little disappointing. Like, that's not going to be great in raids. Typically, when you have a single target fight, that's gonna be useless. Okay, Blizz, that's interesting. I really liked the start. I mean, some of these just sound insane. Like, I honestly think the uptime on this is going to be somewhere between 33 and 50%. Just mathing in my head. A 10% buff for split the middle and say 40% of the fight, like, that's gonna be pretty nice. And you don't have to change your rotation. None of this is active. None of these are active, really. You just have choices. Nothing changes too much. Cooldown here. Havoc is going to be a little bit of a difference, but nothing really changes too much. It's just a neat little spin. I'll say it's pretty good. I don't like it, or I don't hate it. I don't love it, but I rarely do love these things on first pass. I'm always a little skeptical. Between these 3, obviously we haven't seen these 2 yet. I mean, this one sounds like it's going to be fine. I think it's going to be good for Mythic Plus, especially where was the one? Yeah, I don't remember what it was, but I think this could be pretty good for Mythic Plus. And I love to see that because I like Mythic Plus, but this is going to feel so sad when you see this big ball, this big meteor coming down on your enemy, and then it goes boom, and it's like, well, okay, it did the same amount of damage as if I just went pew with my Chaos Bolt. So I'll say it started out well. It definitely piqued my interest. I think they're on the right path. Something about Ruination just isn't sitting great with me. It's not getting me excited. So maybe a little change there, but we'll see. These are early, and there are 7 more to look at today. But that was the look at the Diabolist Warlock. I'm gonna say Diabolist until someone tells me I'm wrong, so that that won't be very long here on YouTube. That was the look at the Diabolist Warlock. It's pretty good. I want to take a look at the Templar Paladin, and maybe Herald of the Sun as well. And then I also want to take a look at maybe the Warrior one. I don't play a lot of arms. I play mostly Fury, but we'll take a look at that later. If you want to see more about that, be sure to follow, like, and subscribe, all that jazz, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Deuces.